Hello and welcome back to the weekly operation with your host, me, Forgotten Void. This week we will be swapping places with Killer Whale and Hermes, so we will be doing Killer Whale this week and Hermes next week. Hopefully by next week I should have a good video for Hermes. Anyways, we will be doing the Haarlem in Killer Whale. Haarlem is the Dutch cruiser. It has 0 torpedoes, but it has an airstrike. And it has 2 or 3 guns with a 15-second reload. And it gets the cruiser, not the cruiser fire, but the battle cruiser fire, so it has 60-second fires. The only good thing about it really is it gets a heal at tier 8, and not many cruisers at tier 8 get a heal. Anyways, with that, let's get into battle. As was mentioned in a previous comment, I'm often running in divs just because people end up wanting to play with me. I end up playing with others. If I'm running by myself, I'm usually taking mines, and mines is kind of boring to watch, I think, because it's just daka, and that's it. Whereas in a group, I tend to take the lower powered ships. Sometimes I'll run Udachi by myself, and sometimes I have run Haarlem by myself, and a future video will show that. Anyways, continue on with Killer Whale. Killer Whale was formerly a tier 6 op. There are 6 forts at the entrance. They all have high AA, so if there's a CV and you want to focus down one of the forts so they have a window into the harbor. You see AP with the Haarlem. AP with heavy cruisers works well from a distance. With AP with light cruisers, you want to be around 7 or 8 kilometers, unless you have one with improved pen. And if you have destroyer guns, 130 millimeters or below, you're going to want to be within 2 kilometers. So here I was just asking why Alan was going towards the south entrance, and that's because in a battleship, specifically one that cannot fight destroyers, that entrance is basically suicide. The Haarlem also has the issue of not really being able to fight destroyers with its 15-second long reload and slightly below average HE. Maybe it's average, but slightly below average HE. The AP is decent, but the HE is not really anything to write home about. And bombs don't really work on destroyers either, because they have such a wide spread that you might get 1, you might get 2 hits, but otherwise, nope. Now there's 2 forts, the one that we're looking at now, and then there's one more, and these have battleship-sized guns. I can't remember if they're 380s or 406 millimeters, but they are battleship guns, and they do hurt, and they will Citadel cruisers. So those, as a cruiser, any kind of cruiser, those are the forts that you want to focus on. So here I'm just trying to line up the airstrike on the Bayern. Now I'm not doing 2 airstrikes because it hasn't DCP'd, and well, now I'm doing the second one because the first one's going to miss. As he turned in suddenly. And even with a good lineup because of the dispersion for airstrikes, you're not going to hit that many. And it's takes some getting used to for the 15-second cooldown. So I actually have super heavy AP as a skill, and so that's why I mainly focus on using AP. Also, it's better. Oh look, there's that fort with battleship caliber guns still alive. Luckily, they have bad dispersion, and so they're not likely to hit you, but when they do, it hurts. And then you have the other kind of fort, the standard fort with the high AA, several HE guns. So you have 7 of these forts on the map, including all the army depot in front and all the other shore facilities. There are 20 facilities. You only need to destroy 18 of them. Now, if you notice up in the north, we have one ship already sitting there to spawn. Well, waiting for the spawn for those ships. They've already taken out 2 of the forts. For going up in that northern route, a ship needs to have high torpedo alpha. I believe the Talon is probably the ship with the fewest torpedoes that can do it. And that's mostly because the Bayern has high HP. Now, if you notice, we're not actually going to go past this island. Now here, I'm just seeing if I can hit 2 of them with 1 airstrike. Just see if I could be cheeky. And I'm just trying to going with, since I have the range and a better reload than the battleship next to me, and I have an island between me and the enemy ships, I might as well take out all these shore facilities. You notice 1 turret usually is enough, unless one of the shells miss. If all 3 of the shells hit, then it should be a good hit. So I'm deciding between Bayern and Gneisenau. I decided to go with Gneisenau. Stationary target, easy to hit, hopefully. Because I say hopefully because it is very much RNG. Two fires and DCP'd immediately. So I swapped to HE, and I'm kind of waiting to shoot at it because I want the DCP to be over. And what I'm trying to do is set a fire. However, HE on the Dutch shells have pretty low fire chance. And with a 15-second reload, you're not going to set many fires like that. You're going to set more fires with your bombs. And so that's why we have the second set of bombers. Now, if you notice, I could just pull the trigger twice, but I'm pulling it 3 times. And there we go. We got it. 3 fires. And the shells are flat, so you're not going to shoot over islands much. Makes it easier to aim, but harder to shoot over islands. And if you notice how with the AP, it's a really good salvo and wouldn't have done nearly as much damage if that was HE. So the AP is usually the better option with Haarlem, is what I've discovered. And now for the transports, well, even if you're solo, you can usually leave the transports alone because any random person will want to get the transport. And if you notice, the 12-minute mark hit, so the first reinforcement wave has come in. If all ships within the harbor are destroyed before the 12-minute mark, the reinforcements will spawn in immediately. Sorry, not all ships. All primary targets in the harbor. So every ship that has a gun. If they're all destroyed by the before the 12-minute mark, the first wave of reinforcements will spawn in, and the difference between that time and the 12-minute mark is however fast all the other reinforcements will spawn in. So if you somehow kill everything within 5 minutes of spawning it, so at the 15 mark, all ships with guns in the harbor are destroyed, the first reinforcement wave will spawn in 3 minutes early, and every single spawn after that will spawn in 3 minutes early. And the first reinforcement wave, you have, well, all the reinforcement waves have 3 ships. And then there's the 2 battleships that you need to kill, and they spawn in within one escort. So while it seems like the first reinforcement wave has... I take that back. The first reinforcement wave only has 2 ships. The second reinforcement wave has 2 ships. The third, fourth, and fifth reinforcement wave have 3 ships. And then you have the battleship that comes in. The 2 battleships, the Fury and the Dono. So, right, the Fury spawns in with a Fubuki escort. The Dono spawns in with an Alba escort. They used to be 2 different classes of battleships. Now, they're both Fusos. And that's what happens when you go broadside in an Italian battleship. Yeah. We're working on getting him better at playing ships. And if you notice, the cruiser, our non-division member cruiser, who went all the way in the harbor, they're now really far away. And since we didn't actually go in all the way into the harbor, we stuck out on the island outside. We could use our bombs easily and not be shot at, but we could still shoot at the Gneisenau. We were able to get out of the harbor within enough time before, well, as the second reinforcement spawns. And I could be shooting at the battleship, but, well, I am going to launch bombs at the battleship. But my ally over there needs help with this cruiser that's gunning him down. The cruiser has the higher DPM. I'm hoping for a Citadel hit, but right now I'm just getting overpens. Might need to be more angled. But the bombs for the battleships with set 2 fires that seem to have done well, and there the fires got the kill. As he's at half health. The cruiser here, the Nuremberg, has torpedoes. Lots of torpedoes. There we go. We got a Citadel finally. And he was trying to not go for a ram, but bots really like to nose in on whoever is there. And so with that, we've lost two battleships so far. We have taken out the first and second reinforcements. All that's left for a secondary task is to kill the Dono. And so we have a destroyer that's coming to help, and then, well, I wasn't expecting much from the destroyer, so I was getting ready to go take care of that. Now, I'm not too worried about the battleship, mostly because it doesn't have the it's going to be not going to be shooting HE so much, and with the 60-second fires, I want the ship that shoots HE. And if you notice, I wait a little bit right here before I use the DCP. It's because the bots will swap to AP once you are on fire. And so I was letting him, oh, that's a big hit from that. I was letting him swap to AP, or start the process, and then make him swap back to HE. And with that, that gives me a little bit more time on the reload, since the Alba reloads faster than the Haarlem. But now I'm more or less bow into the Alba because I don't want to be taking AP. Because armor-piercing heavy cruiser rounds are not fun. Especially if you're broadside. Especially since the Haarlem has enough to arm the shells for the Citadel. So with this, we're using the airstrikes against the battleship because fires are actually going to be the most effective way to burn down the battleship, and we're going to take out the torpedo cruiser. But also, if you notice, there's not many ships near the exit. In fact, there's only 2. So once the battleship is taken care of, I will be looking to, well, kill myself, just to sink my ship, because the cruiser to the south is not going to make it to the exit in time. The destroyer will probably die. Here I was actually going to contemplating a ram, and then the destroyer takes it out. So now I have to wait for the next wave. Oh well, we'll just farm the Gneisenau while we wait for the next ship. And that's the thing with Killer Whale. A win, if you're dead, is a lot better than a loss. And you're still alive. And if killing yourself in Killer Whale will get you the win, it is much better to go kill yourself. Don't kill yourself in real life. Suicide's not a joke, please. Anyways. Oh, sorry, I misidentified the Gneisenau for the Bayern. That's a Bayern. The next ship will be the Gneisenau. All the reinforcements waves, they go up in tier each time. And that's why the 2 Fusos aren't considered reinforcements, because they're the same tier. They're both they're tier 6 and tier 6. Whereas the first reinforcement wave is... the first and second are both tier 6. First, second, then the... is the third? Yes, the first, second, and third are all tier 6. And then from the third one up, they go up in one tier each time. So the third one will be tier 7. No, the fourth one is tier 7. And then the fifth one is tier 8. And so here, I'm just kind of letting him punch holes in me and taking the torpedoes, because with that, upon my death, it is victory, because we had 2 ships sitting in the harbor, in the exit. And if you see ships sitting in the exit, then you might as well just you might as well kill yourself to give you the win. If there aren't ships in the exit, then you should be the one trying to go for the exit. And that is how you go for a win with Killer Whale. And a little bit back for the results. If you notice, that was a 5-star win. 62 bomb hits, 153 shell hits, and 6 citadels. We got top of the team for what we did, even though we only sunk 3 ships. The armor piercing, we did 88 damage with the armor piercing shells fired, 18k with the high explosive, so not much with there, and then we did another 48k with the airstrikes, but since I believe all of our fires were started by airstrikes, which was another 86k, ended up being is the Haarlem's main armament was the airstrikes with guns to back it up. And with that, that is Haarlem and Killer Whale. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you don't, it's okay. Anyways, I hope to see you again next week, and have a good one.